Dr. Ang Hak Sing, Commissioner of Charities, Mr. David Gerard, President of Securities Investors Association Singapore, distinguished speakers and panelists, fellow members of the Charity Council, ladies and gentlemen. Wish each and every one of you a very good morning and welcome to this conference. Thank you for taking time off to be with us today. Your attendance is proof that the charity sector is constantly learning and that you value the importance of good governance. Our theme this year is purpose, values, and culture. How does it drive governance in charities, and focus a lot on the softer aspects of charity governance. I've said quite often before, the saddest thing that can happen is that every charity develop checklists and you just tick the boxes and you don't reflect on how well you're performing. It is not a question of ticking the box to say, I've done this, I've done that, but really having it, as David has said, part of your conscience, to be very aware what is right, what is wrong. And even if it's not provided for, by having been guided by the basic principles of good governance, you will always be able to figure out what is the right thing to do. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Securities Investors Association Singapore, or SIAS, for being the organizers of this year's conference. This is their 8th Corporate Governance Week, and similar to last year, they have set aside a day especially for the charities. So David was really being very humble by saying that he's very glad to have been approached. But actually, the charity sector owes a lot to SIAS for allocating one whole day of their conference towards promoting governance in the charity sector. Thank you, David. I would also like to thank our distinguished speakers and panelists who have joined us today to share their insights and experiences, which I believe will be of great use in our daily work. As many of you are aware, Charities Council published the refined code of governance in April this year. To ensure all charities are familiar with the refinements and appreciate the rationale behind them, we have decided to start the conference with a sharing on this topic. The core objective of the code is to enable sustainability and boost public confidence in the charity sector by setting good governance standards for charities to aspire towards. All charities, regardless of sector or size, have an important role in ensuring that governance standards are being met. Over the years, we have seen charities appearing in the media for the wrong reasons. We see these charities being subjected to public scrutiny and criticism. We see these charities struggling for years to overcome the negative reputation, to rebuild and win back confidence and trust from their members and donors and beneficiaries. When such cases happen due to weak governance, not only does that particular charity suffer, the overall charity sector's reputation will be tarnished. Confidence is lost, and donations may decrease, actually will decrease, and it's ultimately the beneficiaries who suffer. We should also like to emphasize that the Code of Governance is not only for charities, it is also for the public. It aims to help the public understand the fundamentals of good governance and to aid them in making an informed decision as to which charity to support. With the advancements of technology leading to heightened accessibility to information, the public is becoming more discerning and will certainly look out for benchmarks in accountability practices to identify well-run and transparent charities. The Charities Council Charity Transparency and Governance Awards is coming up in November, and that is one such recognition. To ensure that the charity sector remains successful and sustainable, having good governance is the key foundation. Charitable organizations are held to high standards of accountability due to the call to good governance. As good stewards to your members, beneficiaries, donors, volunteers, and supporters to your charitable cause, you are expected to be transparent and accountable. This is a term that is seldom used, but it is important that all of you who are involved in whichever position in your organizations you are but stewards. And the sad thing I do see over the years that sometimes we forget and we begin to think, especially if we've been with a charity for long enough, we begin to think we own it. We don't. We are only stewards. We are running it for the benefits of all the different stakeholders, certainly the beneficiaries, the people who work with us, the volunteers that come forward to offer of their time, their services. We are stewards for all of them, because even volunteers benefit from being involved with the charities in becoming better people in our society. Having a strong board of the right mix of core skill sets and competencies is indeed very important. The board is responsible for overseeing and managing a charity, ensuring that it is credible with effective and sustainable operations. That said, good governance is not only the duty of the board. As today's theme suggests, it's about embracing the right values and governance culture throughout the organization. The board should set the tone from the top, walk the talk together the executive management, and drive the culture of good governance and ethics to employees and volunteers. This also leads to the subject on attracting, motivating, and retaining the most important resources of charities, people, which is our second topic of discussions for today's conference. The saddest thing that can happen to charities, especially those providing health services, nursing homes, is that it hasn't permeated, hasn't filtered down. So the board, good intention, good management, but the staff hasn't absorbed the culture and the values that the board wants and mistreat the beneficiaries that comes in their charge. I shall not hold you back from the exciting presentations and panel discussion to come. It is my hope to see charity governance grow from strength to strength, such that self-regulation becomes the norm in the years to come. The Charity Council acknowledges that good governance is a journey and can only be accomplished with the collective effort of all. Now, to assist you in this journey, the Council has in place support structures to advise, enable, and guide. We have a plethora of enablers spread out over the next few years, such as the recently extended VWO Charities Capability Fund. We also have various learning events, such as today's conference. We have town halls, seminars to uplift the overall sector on governance best practices. We encourage you to explore and to tap on these enablers. I think in your goodie bags, you will have references, website to check out on guides, templates. There's a lot of resources and materials that is accessible in the Charities Council website. With that, I wish all of you a fruitful day, fruitful discussion, and I hope you have a lot of takeaways at the end of the day. Thank you.